kids that are in public schools may not even know charter schools as well as I didn't even know myself. But I used to think that this was only Greenville Tech here. And the reason I came here is strictly for educational purposes. I'm kind of a geek myself. I really like.
So is my son. So
I really like taking physics and calculus all of the college and getting kind of ready for when it actually hits me next year. And that's pretty much why I was here, just strictly for the college. And, but it was definitely fun to come here because I like the environment itself too. Everybody's kind of close. There's not that many kids either. You'll kind of get to know each other, and everything's very casual. Not public schools where you don't know anybody and the teachers are careless. Most of the teachers here seem to have degrees in what they were teaching and knew a lot about their subjects, and those were some of the main things I liked.
So, close student body, an environment that lets you maximize your gifts of math and science, teachers who really knew their material. That's all important. You know what they call a geek when he grows up? Sir. That's right. Just, you know what? They're making the bucks. Right. I'm going to start on the other end. What's your name?
Hayden Cox.
What is the first name?
Hayden Cox.
Hayden. Okay.
I came here because I didn't really want to go to Hillcrest High because I had already gotten used to a small classroom environment because at Bob Jones Junior High. And I really wanted to start on my college career earlier, and that's the really big factor that drew me here.
Okay. Right. And how much college work were you able to get done?
I think around 50 hours.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So what's your next stop, Hayden?
Clemson.
Okay. And are you going to be enrolling as a sophomore or what?
I have no idea.
Okay. But they'll get, I guess they'll accept most of these credits.
Yeah, most of them are transferable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was able to transfer a lot of credits. I was a bachelor for a long time. I didn't get married until I was 33. And, you know, you could only go to the bar so many nights a week. Friday night, maybe Saturday night. TV's a wasteland, so what do you do with your spare time? I would go to class, go to night class. So by the time I entered graduate school, I had a ton of credits like you that I was able to transfer. So I was able to get my master's and my doctorate in 2 years. Now I was going, you know, summers and taking a heavy load, and doing a lot of other stuff. Normally it's a 5-year process, 2 years for a master's and 3 years for a doctorate, because same kind of thing. I had just transferred a ton of credits, knocked it out. All right, tell me your name.
Lindsay Gonzalez.
Lynn?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yes. I learned early in middle school that public school wasn't really for me. I kind of got lost in the crowd. And my parents moved me to a private school, St. Joe's. And tuition got a bit high, so we were looking at going to another public school, Man or Hillcrest. And I had to choose between the three, and I was like, well, I choose Brashier because it's a small environment. And when I came to visit, the teachers seemed to be really passionate about their subjects, which I really thought was cool.
Okay. Right. Where are you going?
I'm going to use.
Okay.
My name is Nikki Rich, and I actually had the option of going to Hillcrest or Brashier before 9th grade year, and I chose Hillcrest for sports. So I wanted to go to college and play sports, and they had a more developed sports program. I guess that's what Hillcrest is all about. And I was playing soccer, and then the end of 10th grade year, I got in a car accident and couldn't play anymore. And then 11th grade, I still went the first semester, and I swam, and I was like, that's the only sport I could have gone to school for, but I didn't really like it. And And so I knew for scholarships, I had to focus on academics, and Hillcrest is really not the place to do that. Because I really don't remember much that I learned there. But we won't go into detail. But then I had some friends who came here, and I talked to them about it and asked them if they liked it. And all of them seemed to like it. So I came and visited and toured and talked to the principal and stuff, and ended up coming over here so that way I could take college courses, and I'm in a small environment, get a little bit better education. So.
Where are you going next?
Anderson.
They're a member of the same athletic conference that Newberry is in. Somebody want to Brevard's in that conference. Okay. Are you through with athletics, or are you going to compete?
I probably do intramural, but
Okay.
that's it.
Mike, do you have a wait list? Or are you able to accept everybody?
No, we had, just for our freshman class this year, we had the 1 month open enrollment before the lottery, and we had 323 students apply for 100 slots just for freshmen.
Wow.
So, and the freshman and sophomore, and now as they rise, the freshman, sophomore, junior year, each one has 50 to 100 on the wait list.
See, that's why I want to expand the whole charter schools. Is parents and students deserve choices. And no kid ought to be forced to attend a school that's not the best fit for that child. I just, tell me your name.
Hi, my name is Andres. I got you. My sister's pretty long, but I'm just going to do it short. Basically, it's me and my mother, and we used to live in Miami, and it was pretty rough in Miami. I was getting in trouble a lot, and so this summer from my freshman year, my mom sold the house. We have family up here, and she moved up here, and to pick a school, it was tougher because she knew, like these last 4 years were like just the last 4 years like she could have before I would move on in life. And so this summer I moved up here and I moved to an area like in Malden, and I went to Southside High. And I don't know if you know about Southside High, but it's pretty rough there too. And so it was hard to see her, see me still continue my bad path and everything. And so we moved here to Simpsonville area, and I had a choice now against Hillcrest. And she really wanted me to pursue something in life to better myself, to actually graduate from high school and go to college or something for my family. So then we heard about Brashier, and I applied here at Brashier. And what impacted me the most about Brashier was basically the environment and just the class and the education-wise, because in big public schools you get lost and everything, but you also get involved in a lot of things that are not so good for you in the future. And here you don't find that. You know what I mean? A lot of people are focused. A lot of these kids are focused in their college. They're not worried about partying or drinking And so for me, that impacted me the most, because it then made me change. It made me look for to better my path and stuff. And
What's in store for your future?
I enlisted in the U.S. Navy.
Good for you.
Actually, about November 14th. So.
Great. My son finished high school and went straight in the Army. And he grew up more in the first 6 months of the Army than he had in the first 18 years of his life. And it was great for him. He's so proud of his service. And I'm proud of anybody who chooses to serve their country in uniform. And that's terrific. Good for you.
I'm Ashley Satino. I went to middle school at a very small private school. We had 25 kids graduate 8th grade. So I had a lot of friends that had come to the charter school downtown. And I heard about this one that was brand new. So I figured I would, try to get into this because I like very small environments, getting to know my teachers and stuff. And I really like the college idea, especially my academics and getting those scholarships to go to college and stuff. So I applied here, got it in freshman year. Loved it, got lots of credits, got before I went to college. So I really
Where's that?
Peterson.
Right.
principal there. So when he left, it was just kind of radio when he, told my parents and stuff what he was doing and stuff. And I think I was reading on a low level. I'm not sure what it was, but I have an IEP and stuff like that. So here it's really good because it's really small and easy for the IEP to be, go through it and stuff. So it just kind of happened, I guess.
Great. So does it work for you?
Yes, it has. I'm way smarter.
Yeah. I mean, we're all different. That's the amazing thing. Tell me about yourself.
My name is Emmanuel Houston. I'm from Chicago originally, came down here, and I was
We got
homeschooled.
Miami, Chicago sitting next to each other.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Anyways, I forgot all about that. Thank you. No, I came from Chicago, and my mom homeschooled me all my life up until 9th grade. She had a very negative view of the southern school system when she came down here, just from being where she's from. And so she just didn't want to put me into any regular school. But by the time she got to 9th grade, she was on her 5th child. Or by the time I got to 9th grade, she was on her 5th child. And so she was like, "You gotta go. I can't do this anymore." And we knew athlete. And so she was like, "Where are you going to school at?" I was like, "I'm going to Brashier." The next day, my mom, we went to go have an interview. The next day, I started there. And I didn't have a real reason to come here. But one of the reasons I did figure out was that in such a small population, in such a small school, there are bigger opportunities, better ways to expand yourself, better ways to interact with your environment, instead of being put into such a large community, such as Malden, which has over 4,800 students or something crazy like that. So,
So what's next for you, Emmanuel?
I'm going to the College of Charleston to double major in arts management and music, piano.
Okay, so, well, great. Music is, you go to anything, you have to work hard at it. Music, sports, art, engineering, you pick it. The harder you work, the more you will achieve. The more you will achieve, the more self-respect you have. The more self-respect you have, the happier you're going to be. So you see the relationship, hard work, happiness. Happiness is not about partying. Happiness is about liking who you are. The harder you work, the more you will achieve. The more you achieve, the more you respect yourself. The more you respect yourself, the happier you'll be. So, and that's true in any field. Tell me about yourself.
My name is Audrey Davis. I went to Bryson Middle School, and as I progressed throughout middle school, the girls got meaner and meaner, and I found myself not focusing on academics, and I had always been a straight A student, and by 8th grade I was getting like B's and C's, and my mom knew something was up. She didn't want me to continue that in high school, so she heard about Brashier through my cousin, who was a sophomore here, and or freshman year, and she signed me up, and the rest is history.
And what's next for you, Audrey?
I'm going to Furman, double majoring in political science and Arabic.
Tell me about the Arabic. How did you choose that?
I learned Swahili for my senior project, and Swahili it's originated from Arabic. And I joined the Marines. I'll go in as an officer, and I'll be a translator. So I picked Arabic. It was
Wow, that's great. Great. Marines have great uniforms. They've got the best uniforms for everybody. That's great. Congratulations. All right.
I'm Erin Slater. I guess the main reason that I went here was I have an older brother who went to the main campus charter, and my parents thought that was a really good fit for him, so they were like, "Why don't you go to one of the charter schools?" And this one's like really close to my house. So when I first came here, I was like, "Oh, I don't know how it's gonna be because it's really small and it's really new." And but when I got here, I was like, "This is great," because I wanted something that was really academically focused, because I've always gotten like straight A's, and I didn't want to go somewhere that I just get lost but this one was really, really focused, and it helped me to focus so that I could get stuff out of the way, and I could get like more college credits because I knew I'd be in college for a while. So it was just really good for like pretty much academically. It was great.
Terrific. And what's next for you?
I'm going to exercise science at USC.
My name's Brooke. I went to Langston Charter Middle School, so that's kind of how I got into the charter school swing. And at Langston, you know, I had got a great education there, and I was like, I don't think I want to go back to a kind of just normal public school after being at Langston, because it really prepared me. So a lot of my friends were the same boat. Like, we still have like a Langston crew here. But we were looking at, you know, either the main campus charter school or this one. And this one was closer, so I applied here, got in, and it's just really worked out wonderfully for me. It's let me, you know, I finished all my English that I'll ever have to do, all my math, you know, knocked out my first year of biology, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's helped me get ready.
And what's next for you?
I'm going to Clemson. I'm going to major in biochemistry, and then I hope to go to medical school.
Wow, that's great. So after going to a class with just girls, what was it like to go co-ed classes?
As far as like the teaching style, it wasn't really any different. You know how Langston tries to tailor their, you know, teach to girls, teach to boys. So I think in normal schools they teach to girls. I don't know, because it was in there. But
They expect boys to sit still and listen. Boys can't sit still and listen.
but
I was in Langston School. I went into a boys' math class. How many, besides Brooke, anybody else go to Langston? They have boys and girls, but when it's time for math or science or English or whatever, boys in one classroom, girls in another. Went into the boys' classroom, all the lights were off except for the Prometheum smartboard. Because boys are easily distracted. And so, but if the only thing you can see is the teacher up front on the board, it helps the boys focus their attention. Half the boys were standing up behind their desk, and if they needed to write something, they'd bend over and write it. And they're moving around a little bit. You know why? Because guys gotta move around. You know? And if you want to stand up, stand up. And the seats were, you know, movie theater style. Went to the girls' math class. Little groups of 4 desks. You know, all the lights are on. You know, people are talking and sharing and working cooperatively to jointly share problems and help each other. Totally different. And you know, that's just, what's the French say? Vive la différence. Okay. Last name is
Joe Elder.
Say again?
My name is Joe Elder.
Joe.
I came from Southside Christian. I went there from 1st to 10th grade, and prior to that I went to Shannon Forest. And I think it was 2008. My dad's a realtor, so the housing market kind of slowed down. So we came here for financial reasons and because I had gotten into a lot of bad stuff at Southside, believe it or not, Southside Christian. When I was there, I was, I guess, one of the more popular people. I had played basketball, football, and track. I was doing nothing but sports. My grades weren't that good. I didn't have time to, you know, focus on all that stuff. So we moved. I wanted to go to Hillcrest, but my mom was like, I know, I heard about this Brashier College, which I couldn't pronounce it, nor could I remember the name. My sister's friend's younger sister went to the main campus, and my mom tried to get me in there, but they didn't have the opening, so I came over here. And when I came here, I guess I kind of grew up. I stopped doing really everything that I was doing that was bad that my parents didn't like me doing. I stopped all that. I played sports my junior year, but this year I didn't play any sports. I did nothing but academics, and it's really helped me grow up and become more educated. I got more serious about my education. And I'm going to Clemson next year to study business management and marketing law degree.
Right. Good for you. Well, this is an impressive group, and I think it just, you know, reaffirms for me the importance of charter schools and why I need to expand them and work. I've been in office 4 months now. We've got a very strong charter school in the General Assembly. That's our House and our Senate. The bill has made it through the House, and right now I got 2 senators who are holding it up. And frankly, it's because a lot of the traditional public school teachers, administrators, and school board members don't like the idea of competition. because the schools have to compete for students and the dollars that follow the students. That just means a different standard. Now, I believe the competition is good. I believe the dollars should follow the child. We should not fund schools or school districts. We should fund students. Where the students go, the money should follow. Well, a lot of people say, well, Dr. Zais, that's going to take money from the school district. That's going to take money from public schools. My response is charter schools are public schools, and it's not the district's money. Taxpayers are paying a lot of money to educate students, not to support districts. So I'm going to ask for your help. We are a state that is very much run by politics, and you're just studying political affairs. What is it?
Political science.
Political science. Like it or not, politics affects every aspect of our lives, and it affects what kind of schools you go to, and what kind of schools your children will go to, and your brothers and sisters will go to. And right, most of you don't know who your state senator is and your state representative, but they are very critical in making the laws. Frankly, I'm limited in my ability to shape the laws to expand charter schools other than trying to shape public opinion. And that's why I need your help. I need you and your parents to be vocal advocates for the kinds of school choice that charter schools represent, so that we don't have 4 people applying for every slot, that we're able to accommodate the needs and desires so we can provide the advantages that you have to a lot of other families and students. I firmly believe that there are many, many kids who just do not actualize their potential because they're not in environments that encourage and support them being all that they can be. But we need to change public opinion. So I want you to be vocal, outspoken proponents of public charter schools. And I want your parents to talk to the senators, your senator and your representative. Do you know who most of the local ones are?
Gary Smith is our representative. And then there's a real split around here between David Thomas. Rob Anderson's just down the road. We're kind of in a dead man's zone, so the redistricting will really change this area. I feel like.
Okay. Well, that's good that you got more than one, because I need as many, and they respond to their constituents. Your parents are their constituents. So if your parents are saying, listen, there's 4 kids for every slot at Brashier, you really need to work as our representative to expand charter schools.
You're saying be very vocal about, charter schools and whatnot. But if somebody says, because you were saying you believe that the money should follow the students and wherever the students go, that's where the money should go. But when I was talking to a couple of teachers about that teach at public schools that my mom is friends with, they feel like that's elitist, like elitism or whatever, because they're like, well, if all the smart kids go to charter schools, because that's what they call us, the smart school, if all the smart kids go to that school, and then all of a sudden, we start to lose a lot of money because all the parents are like, oh, well, all the smart kids are going to that school, so let's send our kids to that school. And then a place like Walden High School, which has a humongous facility, and they're paying buku dollars just to keep up with it, they lose about a good, 2,000 of their students because they all start getting split off into charter schools, and then they can't adequately educate the students at Walden High School anymore because they don't have that money, because that money has followed all the other students to charter schools.
No, if the money is per student, if you get $14,000 per student, then you've got money to educate the kids. Broke, and I think others of you would say that charter schools is not for just smart kids. In Greenville, we have Legacy School. Legacy School is all low-income, high-risk, predominantly minority kids who come from families that do not read. It's a public charter school. But those kids do reading 3 hours a day. Because, when you started school, you knew this was the front of the book and it opened this way. You knew that was the back. And you knew the text was read from left to right, from top to bottom. If you've never been read to, you don't know any of those things. You know, kids coming from affluent families, most of them know the alphabet. Kids coming from families where their parents don't read to them, can't read. You know A from Z. So the point is, those kids are able to learn. They just can't learn the same way. And so, actually, many of our charter schools are designed for low-income kids. And it's not, that's a myth that it's all the best and brightest.
Your group, your class coming in had about 70% of you were below proficiency on the PAT test.
So, I mean, that just tells them that they're wrong.
To say that charter schools take the cream of the crop off the top, it's kind of an everyman. When you look at a class of students, it's a real wide swath of students. The difference in the middle colleges really comes down to every one of you, when you walk in the door, has the same opportunity as anyone else taking college classes. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you were in challenge in the 8th grade or if you've taken honors something, or every one of you, whether you've taken honors or gifted and talented classes or whatever, has just the same opportunity to go and challenge yourself at the college. And I think all you would say, once you took your first college class, it made you more confident that you could do more. And so that's kind of what we try to do. So none of you, the student that Dr. Zais sees today, I could say none of you were that student when you walked in. Your confidence, your ability to talk, I mean, it just makes me proud to watch y'all talk to people because you're not that student that started.
They think you're the brightest because after 3 or 4 years here, you are. But when you all came here, you weren't the cream of the crop. You were a representative sample. And I just don't think we ought to punish kids just because teachers don't like the idea. That's my view.
There's another situation that teachers sometimes bring up is that why don't you just implement some of the same, some of the same concepts that charter schools have into the public school system, such as we have to keep all our grades above 80s. They're like, well, if the school system or the superintendent of education just said, well, this is now a law, then that means all the kids would be just like charter school students, and we wouldn't have to have charter school this, charter school that, just stay regular.
That assumes all the kids are the same. And the point is, I want lots of different kinds of charter schools. We got charter schools for math and science guys. We got charter schools for the artsy kids. We got charter schools for kids with severe disabilities, cerebral palsy, and so we got magnet schools for military guys that are in uniform and being inspected at 7:30 every morning. But number one reason that a lot of folks don't like the charter schools is the charter school does not report to the school district. The charter school works for a board of trustees elected by the teachers and the parents. And that's really local control. And I'm a strong proponent of more local control. I've said since I started my campaign, we got too much direction coming out of Washington, D.C., and frankly, too much direction coming out of Columbia. I'm working to reduce it, all the mandates, all the directions, all the control coming out of Columbia. So, but what works in a affluent suburban school may not be appropriate in a poor rural school, and vice versa. But if you got one size fits all policy, it just doesn't make sense. So,
in Greenville County could do that if they wanted to. They just choose not to. They could make a lot of it.
I mean, there's a lot of people that believe that. And they are fighting me tooth and nail, which is why this is very political. They see this as a threat to traditional education, the whole charter school movement. I see this as an opportunity to help students achieve their potential. But that's one of the things I hear in a lot of charter schools. I went to a charter school 2 weeks ago. Midlands Middle College. These were all kids who were at risk of dropping out of high school. And it's 3 counties, 8 school districts. And the administrator said, you know, Brooke, you've got the potential to finish high school, but on the path you're on now, it's not going to happen. You're going to Midlands Middle College. Last year they graduated 97%. And I went there, mostly low-income families. Over half the kids work because they have to. Mom is not giving them money for, you know, books. There's no dad to give them money for gas for their car. And I was in one group of seniors, and I said, how many of you work? About 2/3. The girl in the back, I said, where do you work? She said, I work at McDonald's. I said, what are your hours? Oh, by the way, the school starts at 12:45 a.m. First class is 12:45, and they go to 5:45. I said, where do you work? She said, McDonald's. I said, what are your hours? She said, I work from 5 to noon. The guy sitting next to her said, where do you work? He said, I'm a roofer. I said, what are your hours? He said, I work from 7 to noon. These kids work because they have to. One of the reasons kids drop out of school is because they need the money. They have to go to work. So if you provide a school that meets their needs, lets you work and go to school on a college campus, and I heard the same things. I fit in, it's small, you know, we all kind of understand each other, we all got similar problems, we bond together, we don't have these cliques. Small classrooms, personal attention from the teachers. They're available after school to help you with your work, all the same kind of things. But they were not, you know, the cream of the crop. These were kids who were referred because they were on the verge of dropping out either because of low grades or truancy. But I firmly believe that poor kids can learn, and no child should be forced to attend a failing school. And we do have some failing schools in our state. We've got schools where over 40% of kids do not finish on time. And over 50% of the males do not finish. That's a failing school. And we should